Hey everybody, welcome back. I wanted to design a minimal and inexpensive option for a dash mount on the Sequoia. So I actually took my 3D scanner and scanned the dash, and I was able to create a 3D printed mount that contours the dash, and it utilizes just an 8-inch aluminum track. If you have a 3D printer or access to a 3D printer through a friend or something like that, I do have the free STL file for my print here down below, as well as links to all the products I use. When designing this thing, I knew I'd be sharing it with some of you guys, so I wanted two options. I wanted to do a drill option like standard, and then I wanted to try to do something with a no drill option. So the first part of this video is going to show just the install of the no drill option, and then I'm going to pull it off my dash and go through the drill option, because that's ultimately what I'm going to do. But some people don't like to drill through their dash, which is understandable, which is why I wanted to design it with that in mind. So I actually took my 3D scanner and I scanned my dash here. So that way the contour of this actually matches it. So that way if you do the double-sided tape, it should sit pretty flush on here. It's made just to sit on the edge with a little forward lean. All the prices I list on here are the prices I paid at the time of building this thing, so prices might change a little bit. Both of these designs use a 8-inch aluminum track from Yak Attack. It's actually made originally for a kayak. It will allow you to use the track items from like Ram and stuff like that. I plan to use one of the 1-inch Ram balls with their track mount on it. The track itself does come with 5 screws. I opted to not use them. So for the no drill solution, you can actually just cut down the bolts that came with it. I ended up buying 3/8 bolts, and that's what this was designed around. They're 832 by 3/8 button head cap screws. I ended up getting some stainless screws from the local hardware store, and they were $1.15 for the pair. And when doing the no drill solution, because of how thin it is, I couldn't do the lock nuts that come with it either, so I did end up buying those nuts. And at the same hardware store, they're only 46 cents each. So I did shape the bottom of this thing to take those nuts and kind of recess in there and hold them in, so you don't need a wrench on the backside. And there are 3 nubs that are on the print itself that lock into the other 3. We're only going to utilize 2 of the holes. So to hold this down, we're actually just going to use some 1-inch 3M VHB tape. This stuff's strong. I do have little recesses in there. The middle is made for 2-inch strip, and then the sides I did it for 1.5-inch strip. Price on this stuff varies depending on what size roll you get. It's good to have around, especially if you're doing automotive stuff. It comes out to about $1 a foot, plus or minus some. So I'll link down to some below that you can pick up. I know Walmart and all those have it too. I use the black. There is a clear version. I'm not entirely sure of the difference, so I just use the black one. For dash reference on all this stuff, I actually have a Boss 9-inch radio. It does have a removable screen, which makes this a little easier. You just pop it right out. Before you do this, you want to make sure you clean your dash really good. So I already went ahead and did that, and I added my VHB tape so you can see the black in there. When you go to place this first, kind of just place it and see where it looks best. It's actually the tallest corner is going to be the closest right near this. So the shorter side will go towards the front of the car, just because the dash slopes up. You'll have about 1/4 inch before the mount, so just make sure you keep the same path here. I designed it where it did kind of stay consistent across the way. So once you get it in, push it down. So I got stuck on there. I did push down, and honestly, I didn't even have to push down that hard. It's stout. So I ended up getting a short arm and then the RAM mount for the MagSafe charger. Most people are just going to put a phone on here, but it can hold more. I mean, putting pressure, it's not going anywhere. That would probably be enough for most people, to be honest. If it was me and I wasn't doing this for the video, I would probably just keep the no drill option, put it on here. It's stout enough. Sand and paint if you want to, if you don't want the raw 3D print look. I'm going to take this apart and do the drill option for the video, but honestly, I think it's almost strong enough. It's not going anywhere. So if you want to run that, the only major unknowns will be if the sun heats the tape enough where it loosens up. But this is the same tape a lot of people do aluminum sides on campers. As long as you do your prep work and clean it, I mean, I honestly think it'll be good. I can move it and wiggle it, but I'm putting a lot of pressure onto it. So if you want the no drill option, that's it down below. It's under 30 bucks if you have access to a 3D printer. And unless you're putting something that's super heavy, I think that'll hold most things. I mean, heck, I could probably put this camera on there and it'll do just fine. I am going to pull it off, do the drill option. I do need to take my radio out for that just so I can get the underneath side. The install is pretty much going to be the same. I did buy the same type of screws, but 1 inch long. The 3/4 that comes with the track, I think it'll be a little too short, and I didn't want to open everything up and then find out that I need longer screws, so those were $1.29 for the pair. As long as you get the 832 button head cap screws, you can use the lock nuts that come with the track itself, so you do save there. I did forget to mention, if you have the 3D printer and you understand the terminology, for my print I have a Bamboo X1C, and I use the PETG Basics. This design, if you print it upside down on the face and do it with supports, it's 78.95 grams of filament. So if you're curious about how much it'll be, if you have a $20 roll, that comes out to about $1.58. It's inexpensive as far as that goes, as long as you have a 3D printer. That's where the expense comes in. So if you know somebody with a 3D printer, bring them a 6-pack of beer or something like that and see if they'll print it. I did it at 0.2 layer height and it took under 3 hours to print. I'm going to try to peel this thing off and take my radio out, and then we're going to drill some holes. I'd recommend you mark this before you take your dash apart. You need it for the left or right center just to make sure you're good and you're not off a ½ inch or something on one side. And I am just eyeballing this. It matches up with these verticals pretty good. So with that there, I'm just going to hold this in place. And all you have to do is use the holes inside. I'm going to just mark this with a drywall screw. You can use a scratch awl or anything sharp really. Find the hole, mark that one. 1 and 2. And I am just using a 3/16 drill bit to drill these. It seemed to fit best. So all I'm doing is taking the 1 inch screw and I'll put the washer and the lock nut underneath it that came with the track. All right, 1.5 update. It is the same mount, no warping. It's still holding up. The only thing I changed was the RAM MagSafe mount. I changed to a phone mount that I designed and made. I did throw on just a little ball mount here, just for if I do like a GoPro or my Insta360 or something like that. I'll put it on there. I knew PETG was pretty good for car solutions with it's more UV resistant. I wasn't too sure how it would do on the heat. The last few weeks we have had days that were 95+ degrees out here, so I wasn't sure if it would warp or anything like that. And it's still on there good. Nothing came loose. Only change I'm going to be doing is I printed out some in ASA, which is a higher temperature. I just know my dash will get hot. ASA is good for, I read 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So I printed one of these up. I have one that's getting primed and painted right now. It's not in this video, but unfinished, it looks the exact same as the PETG. Now, giveaway time. So as I was doing these and running them off, I printed 5 in ASA. Just unfinished, 3D printed. It still needs the track and all the hardware and everything like that. This is just the 3D printed item that I'm giving away. So to enter to win one of the 5, I gotta do 2 things. 1, subscribe, and 2, comment cheeseburger down below. So that'll help the algorithm. Give away 5. I'll just pick 5 at random. You have until the date that's gonna show up here on the screen just by the time I edit it. We'll just do 1 week. So 1 week giveaway. Not enough people comment, I'll extend it, but I'm playing for 1 week. So yep, that will be my just kind of random giveaway thing. Let me know if you like that. Other than that, the ST file is down below. You can download it if you have a 3D printer, print it. You can have it done in just a few hours. I will have all the links and hardware sizes down below, as well as a list. When you download it, I'll include that information in the download just so it's in a package. But yep, it's a good inexpensive alternative to what's out there. Hope you guys like it, and I got to get to designing the Sequoia bumper, so I'll see you in the next one.